You wake to fog, not the kind that drifts through valleys or clings to morning grass. You haven't seen grass in weeks, maybe longer. This fog is vertical, pressing against the crystallized bridge beneath your feet, with a weight that makes your teeth ache. It tastes like copper and something older, something that predates language. Ember stands 3 paces ahead, their silhouette wavering as though they might dissolve entirely into the haze, and you know, the way you always know, that they've been awake for hours. The patterns are wrong again, you say. Your voice sounds muffled, distant, as though you're speaking through water. Ember doesn't turn around. You've been walking the floating islands for longer than you care to count. Time moves differently here, measured not in sunrises but in harmonic shifts, those subtle vibrations that hum through the soles of your feet and into the architecture of your bones. The islands drift in slow, predictable cycles, and if you stop moving, if you linger too long on any single mass, it sinks. That's the rule. That's always been the rule. The mainland lies somewhere beyond the fog, 3 islands north according to the frequencies, and you're running out of time before the seasonal convergence closes all passages.
Imagine you possess a gift that makes you a human compass. You can read the invisible threads of the world, sense every lie, and predict every path. But today, the fog is vertical, and the patterns you've trusted for a lifetime are starting to contradict themselves. Even worse, the footprints you find in the frost are your own. Welcome to Fables Adventures. I'm your host, and today's narrative, The Harmonic Rift, is a psychological speculative piece for our 16+ audience. It's a story about the terrifying moment you realize your greatest strength, your intuition, might actually be a cage designed by the person you trust most. Please subscribe to Cross the Bridge. The frequencies are shifting. Let's descend.
You could read the islands the way others read maps, seeing the invisible threads that connected one floating mass to another, knowing which crystallized bridges would materialize before they even shimmered into existence. You could trust what you saw. But for 3 islands now, maybe 4, the fog makes counting difficult. The patterns have been contradicting themselves. Where you sensed convergence, you found divergence. Where the harmonic frequencies whispered of safe passage, the air itself recoiled from your touch, cold and slick against your skin like something alive and wary. We've been here before, Ember finally says. Their voice carries that particular texture it's taken on lately, something between comfort and condescension. Not this exact island, but this feeling. You step forward and the bridge hums beneath your weight, a low frequency, almost subsonic, that reverberates through your chest. The fog parts like curtains being drawn back, revealing nothing, and then closes again. In that brief clarity, you see something, the faint impression of footprints in the crystallized surface, leading backward, retracing themselves. Your footprints, from hours ago or days ago, or perhaps from a future you haven't reached yet. The cold moisture settles on your exposed skin, neck, wrists, the vulnerable places where your pulse still insists on running beneath the surface. You are alive, you are here, and something is terribly, beautifully wrong. Show me, you say, not a request. Show me what you've been doing. Ember turns then, and their face emerges from the fog in pieces. First the jawline, sharp and familiar, then the eyes. The eyes have always been where you read them most clearly. Eyes don't lie, not to someone like you. The dilation of pupils, the micro movements tracking intention, the infinitesimal pause before a blink that betrays hesitation. But Ember's eyes are steady, almost too steady.
I hear it. You knew I'd feel it the second I stepped on the bridge. It's why you're here. Can it be fixed? Only if you let me in.
You've spent years learning to hear what others don't say. You've built your survival on the ability to perceive the invisible architecture of deception. The harmonic frequencies on Kethel's Rest shifted when you touched that crystallized outcropping. You say quietly, "I felt it." The pattern fragmented. I thought it was decay, natural erosion, but the frequency was deliberate, calculated. You step closer, and Ember doesn't retreat. On Vale's Drift, the bridge we crossed, the one that should have led north, suddenly oriented east. I sensed the redirect before it happened. I felt your intention like a hand reaching through the fog to alter my course. The fog thickens. It's pressing against you now, and you realize with a slow, dawning horror that it's not weather. It's doubt made manifest. Ember reaches toward you. Their hand passes through the fog, becoming almost translucent, and you want to flinch, but you don't. You stand still, the way you've always stood still when facing what frightens you most. Physical pain, you learned long ago, is simple. Betrayal is architecture. It requires time, proximity, the patient weaving of trust into the very foundation of your being before it can be collapsed. Because, Ember says, I needed to know if you trusted yourself or if you trusted what you perceive. The words land like stones in still water, sending out concentric ripples that distort everything. They're not the same thing, Ember continues, their hand now resting on your shoulder.
I didn't lie to you. I just couldn't let you see all of it at once. The bridge would have broken. What you felt was real. It still is.
Then why does it feel like it shattered anyway?
You should pull away. You should rage. Should feel the clean, clarifying anger of betrayal. Instead, you reach out to steady yourself against the bridge railing, and your hand passes through empty air. There is no railing. Your arm swings wildly into the fog, grasping for something solid, and the sensation is so violently disorienting that your knees nearly buckle. You've never missed. Your spatial sense has never failed. You know where things are. You've always known. Your hand flails again, searching for the crystalline structure you felt moments ago, and finds nothing but cold, damp air. The fog rushes in where your certainty used to be, and you gasp, a sound of pure animal panic that surprises you both. It's still there, Ember says quietly.
It's not mist. It's the bridge's song. The frequencies holding the span together.
Your hand just passed through a section of fog so dense.
Every sheet you see is a note, stacked and frozen in place.
A song? You're saying all of this is resonance?
Exactly.
The fog is still pressing against you, still tasting of copper, but now it tastes like something else too. Like the moment when the world shifts beneath your feet and you realize you don't know which direction is down.
The bridge sings itself solid. Where the tone fades, there's nothing.
So if the music stops?
Then so does the ground beneath us.
You've been deliberately creating contradictions, you whisper. Not contradictions, Ember says, and their grip tightens slightly. Variations, possibilities. I've been showing you that what you sense isn't objective truth. It's one layer of a much more complex reality.
I thought I knew what this place was. I was only looking at the surface. It's like the world is made of 100 truths, each one incomplete.
You read the frequencies, yes, but they aren't the whole story. Sometimes they're just echoes of what people want you to believe.
The world remembers, even when we pretend not to. The ice still carries the echo of the strike. The bridge, the moment it turned, every deviation I ever forced.
You talk like it's the land-keeping score.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's why we can't outrun it. It saw us reach for each other in the fog, and it remembers the way we let go.
You step forward into the thinning fog, and with each step, the familiar sensations reassert themselves, but they feel different now. Thinner, more fragile, less like objective truth. Behind you, Ember follows, and you don't look back. Not because you don't want to, but because looking back requires certainty about what you'll find, and certainty might be the most dangerous thing of all. The islands drift on, and so do you, suspended between what you sense and what might be true, learning the hardest lesson, that the ability to see everything might mean understanding nothing at all.
The bridge holds. Then,
The bridge is still there, but the certainty is gone. And maybe, in a world of floating islands, certainty was always the most dangerous thing to carry. If this story of vertical fog and harmonic shifts stayed with you, please like and subscribe. For more atmospheric, philosophical dramas, check out the Fables Adventures app. Until tomorrow, watch the patterns carefully.